This is Martin Reeves, Honorary President of LARIA, and I've been proud to be Honorary President for over a decade now. And I can honestly say never in that period has the role of LARIA or professional policymakers within our sector been so critical and so relevant to what we face going forward. Who could have imagined that pre-pandemic we've had a situation where residents, people that care about their own places, national politicians, international observers would have been fixated and fascinated on an hourly, definitely a daily basis around charts, evidence, using words which have now become in our lexicon like epidemiology. Who would have thought the briefings right from the heart of government would have included significant data research? And with the vaccination programme through the pandemic that we're now seeing rolled out, the power again of data, evidence, insight and scientific, epidemiological and empirical evidence being so critical to understanding what works, what doesn't work, so we can learn quickly and move on. So what a great time for me to say that LARIA has always been, in my view, critical to evidence-based policy making, but the pandemic, as tough as it's been, has put all of us in front and centre. So want to really get everyone excited by a programme that we're putting together for our spring webinar series, starting on the 12th of April and going all the way through to the 27th of May. An opportunity virtually, and sadly we can't come together, but virtually to exchange ideas, learn from some of the most preeminent academics, practitioners, policymakers up and down the country to really learn from what has happened, how things have shifted so amazingly over the last year. And yes, we've seen challenges, we've also seen major opportunities, as I've said, for the power of data and evidence to be not at the background, but at the foreground of some of the most important strategic decision making for this country. Right away down, perhaps more importantly, to know what works locally with our communities as we come out of the pandemic and think about what a recovery for both our communities and our economy could look like in the UK. And let me be very, very clear that insight, data, research, the strong, powerful evidence base will be like never before at the heart of that. So please look at the programme, go online, www.laria.org.uk, register, show some interest, put some content forward, but most of all, really be part of the spring series, because actually there'll be so much in there that will be of relevance to you. And what I'd like us to see is not only priming this as a really timely opportunity for the research and data sectors to come together, but then use this genuinely as a springboard forward to be able to think about how LARIA can work in this really critical area. You know, if nothing else, our data people, our research, our analysts across all public services in our places, and as I say, nationally as well, have become almost catapulted forward as the kind of rock stars of this pandemic to really be trusted. But at the same time, we need to be the guardians for the ethical side of open source data and actually the interpretation of data, because we've seen social media through this period interpret, often misinterpret that data, that insight. So if you like, the effectiveness, the ethical framework that LARIA has always been really, really clear about is going to become more, not less important as we move forward. So I'm delighted as Honorary President to prime this spring series. Please, if you've not engaged with LARIA before, now's your chance to do so. If you've been part of our championing of the network for so many years, we can re-energise each other together. So I really look forward to seeing many of you as part of that spring series so that we can keep our information, intelligence, research, data at the heart of public service policy making as we transform, reimagine our places up and down the UK as we inevitably come out of this dreadful pandemic and think about what a really coherent, sustainable, evidence-based recovery will look like. Thank you.